Well, good morning. Good morning from Cape Town. So this is a video after a video I did yesterday. Needs are must, guys. Needs are must. Sometimes I do videos just because I like to share and I just think this will be a cool subject to talk about. And then sometimes I do videos where I'm like, right, we're in the thick of it. These are the important ones. Not that the others aren't, but like these are more so because they are navigational videos, your map and compass. Because everything that I go through, I share with you, and maybe somewhere it will land with you and it will assist you in you walking your process as I'm trying to figure out mine. Now, this is all within the Lionsgate portal. It's ridiculously potent this year because it's the final push. It really is the final push. And what I mean by that, there's a lot of people commenting on the channel, which is amazing and awesome because I love a good chit chat and I love it that you're all interacting and everything like that, because this is what it's all about. And even if you're just watching from the sidelines and you see me pick up a conversation with somebody else who's been watching the video, it's like anything, isn't it? Like, no doubt that's something that you were thinking about. So I think this interactive time process, whatever, I mean, it's just golden because we are all trying to figure it out. Just because I'm doing a video here, it doesn't mean that, like, you know, and this is what we tend to do. We tend to put people on a pedestal or separate ourselves from them and go, well, especially when you're watching them on social media, because I know I've done it and I do it where I think, oh, wow, their life's so amazing and they've got their shit together. And what must it be to actually know what's going on spiritually, because I know nothing, you know, and I go through that a lot, you know, and this is the bridge that we need to, the divide that we need to collapse, because at the end of the day, we are all equally as knowledgeable and powerful as each other. And here's something for you. If you're one of those types that are going through it all the time, physical pain, challenges left, right, and center, and your path is really, really hard, and you just feel like you're in the depths of despair, like all the time, and the more you try and understand this, the worse it gets. Guess what? That's because you are crazy mad, spiritually powerful, because you signed up for an experience that was so challenging because you can handle it. Because you can handle it. And I've always said, the bigger the challenges in the person's life, the more of the depth of power that they hold within. They've been here so many times before and they said, well, I'm not going to come to earth and do an easy life. Give me something hard, otherwise I'm going to get bored. But meanwhile, on the ground here, you're kind of sat here going, well, shit, this is just terrible. I'm just in despair, because you've forgotten your starseed self. You've forgotten your energy self. You've forgotten that you are, in fact, a light being incarnate, a light being incarnated into a human body. It's just the humanness, and you know, that makes you think that you're just your pain. So I want you to digest that if you are going through it, you know, and also as well, I'm going to speak to my peeps that are already facilitators and hold space like me, you know. I have a tendency to be like, oh my God, I'm just going through all this pain and darkness and I wish I could get my shit together so I can go and create a tour, I can go and create a group, or I can go and do something and go and do the work. But actually the work is the pain and the purging. Because what you do for one, you do for all. You put it into the grid. And that goes for all of us, whether you're a facilitator or not. You know what I mean? So we are all doing it for the same reason. And we're all tapped into the same matrix. So I just wanted to kind of like clear the arena, as it were, and just make it nice and smooth and nice and even. Because we're all at the same place, doing the same level of work. So don't ever think that you are less than because you're going through your pain. It's because you're going through your pain that you're more than. Do you know what I mean? Vice versa, whatever way you want to look at it. So we're in the thick of the Lionsgate, as I say, and I'm going to share, because this is open until the 22nd of August. So I'm going to share these navigational skills and tips, whatever is coming through for me. So as you know from my other video, those of you that are watching on Instagram, I didn't post on Instagram because the video was too long. So go back to YouTube, because there was which is here as well, there's a video that I posted yesterday. Basically this week, as from Saturday last week, I have been in very, very dark, intense energy, really bad dark night of the soul. Many of us have been. Today, it started to lift. Today, I felt my energy come back online and I was like, you know, oh, I can breathe again. You know, I kind of came up and rose above it. It's the morning though. We just have to see how the day goes. But right now, current mood, I'm not wanting to die, which is always a great thing, is it not? So what came to light this morning? So I have some points. So when you're in the thick of it, okay, and it's a fine line, when you're in the thick of it, beware of spiritual feeding. And what I mean by that is when you're in a real dark night of the soul and you're in that real intensity, you know, especially, you know, myself, I tend to go, oh my God, I need to read a spiritual book, or I need to watch a spiritual video, just try and make myself feel better. And I find myself, well, let me go for a walk in the woods, because that's going to align my energy. And on paper, that's a great thing to do. Go and be in nature, you know, go and watch a spiritual video. But it comes from a place of addiction and fear as well, because you're actually resistive to going through the process. So what I have learned, it's a fine line. Sometimes I can be proactive and go, do you know what? I'm going to disengage from this energy and I'm going to take myself off to the gym. Or I am going to go for a walk in the woods. And some days it works, but some days I'm like, you can tap into your energy. I'm panicking and I'm grappling to do something spiritual to get me out of this. And that is a form of resistance, because what like is the most powerful thing that we should be doing. And this is something that we need to master, which is when we get to that place of stillness where we sit and all of the chaos is going on around us, but we can sit in our stillness within, and we allow that energy, which is really unpreferred, to come and sit at our table. We don't have it sit in us or on our chair, because there's just no room for that. This is my chair, but you can sit at my table. And just the allowance of holding your space and having this horrible stuff that's going on around you, and just going into it, and but not losing yourself, just by holding your space and sitting in deep reflection and just allowing it, like letting everything go. No spiritual feeding, no counteracting, no nothing. Just allow it to come in. But by still holding your center, you will transmute that energy, because it will come in, because it's basically any darkness, any heaviness is just energy screaming at you saying, hey, please can you transform me into the light, because I'm sick and tired of vibrating out here. It wants to be brought into the stillness. It wants to be brought into the oneness. But we tend to go, oh no, be gone, away, that's horrible. Let me just go and read a spiritual book, go and see a spiritual healer just to get rid of it. But like, actually, we need to go, no, you're welcome, come in, and then allow it to walk through your portal of stillness, and then it just changes its vibration and it will come in. You'll transmute it into your own stillness. That's what should be happening. But you see, we go through these stages of like noise, vibration up here, then we come to the enlightenment stage where we're like, wow, I know about spiritual stuff now. This is crazy, mad, mental. This is awesome. Let me do X, Y, and Z to basically, because now I know, I know it's just my darkness. Well, that's enlightenment, what I call the aha stage. But then we have to go one stage beyond that, which is letting go of the spiritual stuff and just coming into stillness, just coming to that oneness and just being, no thought. That is it. And that's not even a spiritual thing. That is just aligning yourself with the rhythm of the wind, the sky, you know, the trees, the vibration of Mother Earth, just stillness. I mean, you look at nature, this is what they're talking about when they always go on about be at one with nature and all that. And I'm always going, I'm trying. I'm trying to be at one with nature. But now I get it, because it's the vibration. They effortlessly change their cycles. The wind comes, the wind goes. No one's basically trying to control it. It just is. So we need to match our vibration with that. So it's not to go and spend your years at the bottom of the garden being like a tree, and then like, you know, kids don't get taken to school, dogs don't get fed, no one has dinner. Like, that's not what it's about. It's about maintaining the energy of nature in your stillness, where it all just goes on around you, because that's energy. Okay. So that's energy. You are an enlightened being, the enlightened phase, but then go one depth into that, plug it into the ground, stillness, detachment, freedom, right? So that's the process, okay? So now, going into timeline. Well, actually, yeah, going into timeline. So timelines are different experiences that can also be coming from past life and all that kind of stuff, which is coming into this culmination point, which is what I'm calling Lion's Gate. This energy is coming like a freight train. This is the final push. Nothing can stay. I'm going to get into that just now. That's why it's so intense, and people are feeling pain in their body and everything like that. So what can we do to be more conscious with it? We got to remember that we are creators. We got to remember that we have a lot of power at our fingertips, because it runs through our heart and now it's at our fingertips. And if we actually just sit there and go, I can change this. If I'm creating it, this reality, which is unpreferred, then I can change it to one that is preferred. Now, I know that it's not that easy because it's every day I try and practice this, and it's a mastery. That's why we are mastering our energies in this life and all the rest of it. That's why we're here. So it's a process. Be gentle and kind with yourself. But the main thing is to actually realize, oh, everything around me I've created. So how am I going to uncreate that? Go back to the stillness thing. But now it's a case of like, right, why don't you get your pen, okay, and write down what your highest timeline is. So that would be, so when we talk about timelines, like I say, different ways of vibrating in what we call life, right? Different stories. Some are really unpreferred. Like, for example, I'm going to give you an example. I've got a huge oak tree in my garden. If, like, you know, around the front of it, it's beautiful. The sun's shining on it right now. It's stunning, you know. But for example, there could be a boggy part of mud. The mud might be quite boggy at the back there, and it's like not so pleasant because it's all overgrown. But at the front, there's a nice little bench, and at the side, it's not too bad. You know what I mean? And so on and so on. So there's different things going on around that tree. Now, I could stand at the back of the tree and try and view it, and I'll be up to my ankles in mud. It's shady, it's cold, it's horrible. I'm like, this is shit. I'm trying to look at this beautiful oak tree. So if I come round to the front of it, I'm like, oh, it's warm here, the sun's shining, and actually there's a little bench here, and this is quite pleasant, okay? And then I can go to the side, and I'm like, it's okay, but again, it's a different perspective. So these can be likened to timelines. It's the same tree that you're looking at, but it's different experiences of viewing the tree. You get me? So all of this, so that your life is the tree. How you experience it in what vibration, that's up to you. But you want the highest vibration, the best possible outcome, okay, of sitting and watching and being with that oak tree. Where is that? Chances are it's at the front there on the bench in the sun, right? Forget about all the other angles. Those ones you just want to forget about. In fact, change them. Why don't you pave them and cut some bushes down and make it nice all around? That is the best way to describe bringing it up, you know, your highest timeline. So let's go back to your life now. So what is it you want? Have you even asked yourself that? Because you're too busy putting out fires. So you want to cut away from all the white noise. Stop feeding into the spiritual drama and your energy drama, because actually, quite frankly, you think you know nothing else. But you do, because I'm telling you. Now you want to sit there and go, right, what's my highest timeline? And I'm going to use myself as an example. So I am wanting to now step into, majorly international travel. I'm going to start studying geomancy, which is grid work and everything like that, going to sacred sites all over the world. That's what I want to do. But I've been doing things very different and just sitting in my office and scratching myself and getting stuck and feeling blocked, right? So now my highest timeline, as I sit in this office, is like, I don't want to do this in this way anymore. I want to go and travel the world, find cool places, share those cool places with other people, and just do that, man. That would be so amazing and lovely. So that is the timeline that I'm now going to tap into. That is my vision that I hold. That is my highest outcome, my best possible outcome, sitting in the sun on my bench, looking at the nice part of the oak tree. That is my highest outcome. So I don't want anything less than that. You might have another idea of that, you know, but I think one could be fine. Maybe three ideas occur to you, but I just find holding the vision on one would be a lot more easier for now. And then all those other timelines basically can collapse. But also as well, if there is a time, if you can't get that highest one, if you're in a timeline that you're not liking, meaning shit's going down, you stood at the back of the oak tree up to your knees in mud, collapse that timeline. Go into meditation, close your eyes, speak to your guides and say, I consciously collapse this timeline down now because it's serving me like zero and I'm ready to let go of it. And it will just go boom, 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 boom. And then you just say to spirit, give me the highest advantage point so I can see, raise me up so I can see exactly what's going on. And that's like climbing to the top of the oak tree. Do you see what I'm saying? So lots of different scenarios on kind of understanding how this works, what timeline means, because I know that we all understand it on paper, but sometimes nobody explains it to you where you can actually go, okay, now I can actually tangibly work with it. It's not rocket science. It's just, it's just about practically unpacking it. So now I want to go on to the Andromedans. Okay, so the Andromedans are a very, very powerful. They all are the star seeds, the star nations. They are our star brothers and sisters. They're all up there because we're star seeds at the end of the day. We come from the stars, but we're having a human experience, which is a bit flipping out at the moment. They've been through it. They have so much experience. They're on other planets. If you think you're the only ones living on Earth, well, you got that's maybe where you need to start. expand, open your understanding, you know, that you are way more than this and this. So the Andromedans came in yesterday very, very strongly, and they said, we are not stopping until it's done. You've got to understand that everything you're going through with this Lionsgate timeline, and if you work with it consciously, it is purging, it is kicking out everything that doesn't serve. Yesterday, I was sweeping a glass that got knocked over on the floor by the crazy black German Shepherd I've got called Anubis. Anyway, like I say, I need to do an animal post about crazy animals and how they're part of your journey in such a big way. I'm even looking at him now. I'm not even going to go there. Focus. So anyway, I was sweeping up a glass that he knocked over, and something came, which is not my usual conversation. Okay, we all come from a place of lack and less, low self-esteem. Me especially, because you need to know that just because I'm on a video, or you're looking at someone else on a video, or a book you read and they're really good at channeling, or they do these amazing courses, or they're leaders in their way, of the way, they also go through these self-esteem things. We're all just trying to figure it out. So there I was sweeping the glass, and then I was just like, I'm such a failure. I was like, whoa, that's not usually my language. Usually my language is like, how am I going to do this? And oh my God, everything's so hard. And guess what? I end up achieving it anyway, but I'm just like, how's it going to work out? How's this going to happen? Oh, fear, fear, fear. Oh my God, because I'm always tapping into the chaos. But this came through about how I felt like a failure. And I was like, wow, that's a different language. But that was a message from Spirit saying, that's what you need to clear. That's what's been hanging around you. That's the base matter of all of it, okay? It's not about fear of being seen. It's not about abundantly, not believing in that, or loss, or whatever, which is many, many things that we all suffer with. Mine is about failure. And Spirit, or the Andromedans, just said, that's what's got to go. So everything you are going through, it has to leave. Your path and purpose is on track. It always was. It's unfolding. It always was. It's ordained and agreed upon. It always has been, okay? And everything that you're going through is being cleaned because of that. So if you change your perspective, it's because of that. So if all this shit's coming up, it's because you asked it to be cleared. Lionsgate is coming in. So it's like, yeah, that failure can't come with you because you're going to be doing that. That feeling can't come with you because it's negative because you're doing that. It doesn't support that highest timeline. So if you want to understand what's going on, your timelines are collapsing, okay? Be more conscious of what's going on, but hold your highest timeline and understand why it's going down. So with that, another long video. I was going to try and do it short, but there's a lot of navigational tools there. So see how you go, and I will share as I go. Today's a good day, so I was full of bubbles. So let's hope that lasts. And if it doesn't, I shall share anyway. But yeah, love and light, y'all. Messages in the comments. I'm also going to be sharing a meditation to do with clearing and everything like that. I'm now in a good space to be able to channel something through. Watch out for that. I'll give you a heads up. That will help you clear energy. And yeah, just keep on trucking, man, because we got this. Together we will conquer. Peace.